Deep under the ocean, there are creatures that lived longer than every human civilization combined. They outlived the Roman Empire, ancient Egypt, even the rise of modern nations. Some have lived for hundreds of years, some for thousands, and one creature might never die at all. While we measure life in decades, these beings have watched history pass like a short movie. Today, we're diving into the deep sea's greatest mystery. How do creatures survive longer than entire civilizations? The descent, entering the timeless ocean. We leave the surface behind, and the world instantly changes. The sunlight fades, the water turns colder, and every meter we go down feels like stepping deeper into a place where time doesn't matter. At 200 meters, colors disappear. At 1,000 meters, the pressure is strong enough to crush steel, but the creatures down here, they're built for it. They move slowly, breathe slowly, and live in a rhythm completely different from ours. Down here, nothing hurries. Nothing ages fast. Life is silent, patient, almost frozen. In the deep sea, years feel like days, centuries feel like moments, and the deeper we go, the clearer it becomes. This is a world where time moves differently, a world designed for creatures built to last. We're not just entering the ocean, we're entering the oldest living timeline on Earth. The Methuselah survivors. Our first stop brings us face to face with creatures so old, their lifespans rewrite everything we think we know about life. Meet the Greenland shark, a slow, silent giant drifting through icy black water. Scientists estimate it can live 400 to 500 years. That means some of these sharks were already alive before the Ottoman Empire existed, before Galileo looked at the stars, before America was even discovered. Think about that. A shark, older than every ancestor you know, and it's not alone. Far below, sitting quietly on the ocean floor, lives the rough-eye rockfish, a creature that can reach 200 years. It has survived world wars, plagues, and every major invention humans ever made, simply by living slowly, moving little, and wasting almost no energy. These animals didn't evolve superpowers. They evolved patience, a lifestyle that avoids stress, avoids danger, and stretches their lifespan into something almost unreal. When we call them Methuselah survivors, we mean it literally. They've lived through so much human history that their entire lifespan feels like a timeline carved into the deep. But the deeper we go, the stranger and older the creatures become. The ancient architects of the abyss. As we descend deeper, we enter a world ruled by creatures so old, they make human history look tiny. Down here lives the glass sponge, a bizarre, alien-looking organism that builds crystal-like structures on the ocean floor. Some of these sponges are estimated to be 10,000 years old. They were alive long before the pyramids, before farming, before humans even learned to write. While kingdoms rose and fell on land, these sponges just kept growing, 1 millimeter at a time, in perfect silence. Then there's the black coral, a dark, tree-like organism anchored deep in the pitch-black waters. Some black corals have lived over 4,000 years, older than every modern civilization you've ever heard of. No battles, no storms. Just slow, steady existence in a world humans never touch. They are the architects of the deep, shaping ecosystems, building habitats, and silently watching the planet change over thousands of years. When you stare at them, you're not just looking at a creature, you're looking at a living artifact, a witness to Earth long before we even existed. And just when you think you've seen the oldest life on the planet, the deep sea introduces something even more unbelievable. The immortal organisms. Just when you think nothing can top a creature that lives 10,000 years, the deep sea reveals something even stranger. A creature that might never die. Meet the immortal jellyfish, Turritopsis dohrnii. It lives in the ocean's quiet, hidden zones, and it breaks the rules of biology. When most creatures grow old, get sick, or get injured, that's the end. But not this jellyfish. Instead of dying, it performs the ultimate reset. It turns its old, mature body back into a young version of itself. Imagine if a human at age 90 could simply decide to return to being a 5-year-old. Same memories, maybe? Same body? Absolutely not. It becomes young again, with a new lifespan ahead, and it's not immortal in a magical way. One, predators can still eat it. But if nothing kills it, it can loop its life cycle endlessly, over and over, forever. And this strange trick isn't unique. Some deep-sea hydras, tiny freshwater relatives, show no signs of aging at all. Their cells repair themselves perfectly, like time doesn't exist. To these organisms, aging isn't natural, it's optional. They don't fight death, they simply escape it. But they're not the only ones bending time in the deep. Some creatures don't reset their bodies. They just slow their lives down to a speed humans can't even imagine. The time-frozen beasts. Deeper into the ocean, time doesn't just slow down, like it almost stops. Here we meet creatures that live in a state scientists call extreme metabolic slowdown. In simple words, they live life so slowly that aging becomes almost meaningless. Take the giant tube worms near hydrothermal vents. They can live over 250 years in a place so hostile that almost nothing else survives. But they grow slowly, painfully slowly, conserving every bit of energy like they're stretching time itself. Then there's the Antarctic glass sponge, a creature that hardly moves, hardly changes, hardly ages. Scientists believe some individuals may be 10,000 to 15,000 years old, making them older than some ice ages. And drifting silently in the deep, almost motionless, we find the ocean quahog clam, a small, unremarkable shell hiding an extraordinary secret. One specimen named Ming lived for 507 years before scientists accidentally ended its life while studying it. Imagine living through 5 centuries and dying because a human wanted to check your age. These creatures have mastered the slow life of slow movement, slow growth, slow everything. When you barely burn energy, time barely touches you. Their bodies are like clocks running at 1/10 speed. While humans rush through life, these deep-sea organisms drift through centuries like it's nothing. But how do they do it? What makes them capable of surviving for ages that seem impossible? To understand that, we need to uncover the blueprint, the rulebook deep-sea life uses to cheat time itself. The deep-sea survival blueprint. Every long-living creature in the deep sea follows the same hidden rulebook, a biological blueprint that lets them stretch life far beyond what we consider possible. The first rule is slow everything down, slow movement. Slow growth, slow metabolism. A Greenland shark, for example, grows less than 1 centimeter a year. Its heart beats so slowly that a human doctor might think it's already dead. The second rule, avoid danger by avoiding life's chaos. On land, animals die in battles, hunts, diseases, and accidents. But in the deep sea, the darkness is so empty and quiet that most creatures never face predators or rapid changes. It's a world with no seasons, no storms, no heat waves, no droughts. Stability equals longevity. Rule 3. Low energy equals low stress. Many deep-sea creatures barely use energy. They drift, they float, they wait, and the less energy your body burns, the fewer mistakes your cells make, slowing aging dramatically. Rule 4. Repair, repair, repair. Immortal jellyfish reset their whole bodies. Rockfish constantly regenerate tissue. Glass sponges replace damaged structures with natural crystal. Their bodies are like perfectly maintained machines that never break down. And the final rule, live in hiding. The deep sea is Earth's safest place from human activity. No pollution, no fishing nets, no ships, no noise. Just darkness, pressure, and cold. The perfect environment for long, quiet life. Put these rules together and you get a simple but powerful truth. Time doesn't kill deep sea life. Stress does. And these creatures evolved to live without stress, without speed, without chaos. But what makes their age truly shocking isn't the number of years they live. It's how their lifespans compare to our entire history as humans. The civilization comparison. This is where things get crazy. When we line up deep-sea lifespans next to human history, the numbers stop feeling real. The ocean quahog clam, living 500 years, is older than the invention of the telescope, the entire history of the United States, Shakespeare's life, every modern language we speak today. The Greenland shark, reaching 400 to 500 years, lived through the rise and fall of the Ottoman Empire, the Black Death, the discovery of electricity, the invention of the car, the plane, and the internet. Some black corals over 4,000 years old are older than ancient Greece, the Trojan War, the first alphabet, the earliest known temples. But the most mind-bending comparison comes from the glass sponge, possibly 10,000 years old. It predates the pyramids of Giza, the Mayan civilization, the birth of agriculture, the last major ice age ending. Think about that. Before humans built their first city, before religion, before writing, before recorded history, this creature was already alive, quietly growing, deep in the ocean. While human civilizations rise and fall like waves, these deep-sea beings remain, untouched, unchanged, unbothered. They don't witness history, they outlive it. But their long lives come with a price, a dark side that few people ever think about. The dark side of longevity. Living for centuries sounds incredible, until you realize what that actually means in the deep sea. Down here, long life isn't a luxury, it's a trade-off. The first price is isolation. Many ancient deep-sea creatures live alone. scattered miles apart. A Greenland shark might not meet another shark for years. A black coral colony grows in total silence, untouched by anything except the slow movement of water. Longevity here means living without community, without companionship, without change. The second price is slowness, slow movement, slow reactions, slow everything. In the deep sea, moving fast wastes energy, and wasting energy means death. So these creatures live in a near-frozen state, drifting through centuries in a world where nothing ever happens quickly. The third price is fragility. Long-living organisms are often incredibly delicate. One touch can break a glass sponge that's been growing for 10,000 years. A single fishing net can destroy corals older than every modern civilization. Some of the planet's oldest lives can end instantly, without anyone ever knowing they existed. And the fourth price is helplessness, because they live so slowly they can't escape threats. If a predator appears, if the water becomes polluted, if temperatures change, they can't run, they can't adapt quickly, they simply endure or die. Longevity in the deep sea isn't a gift. It's survival in the hardest, darkest, coldest place on Earth. A place where time barely moves, but danger is always waiting. And yet, somehow, these creatures endure for centuries, for millennia, long enough to watch humanity grow, expand, and transform, while they remain unchanged. But this brings us to the biggest question of all. The final question: why do they live so long? After everything we've seen, one question remains. Why them and not us? Why do creatures drifting in total darkness get to live for centuries, while the most intelligent species on Earth barely reaches 80? Scientists have answers. Slow metabolism, low stress, stable habitats. But the deeper truth is more poetic and more unsettling. Life in the deep sea moves at a different rhythm. There is no rush, no noise, no competition. Just cold, pressure, and silence. A world where survival depends on patience, not speed. Humans, on the other hand, live fast. We burn energy quickly. We chase goals, stress, conflict, ambition. We live in a world full of friction, biological and emotional. Deep-sea creatures survive so long because they mastered something we never did: stillness. They don't chase life. They conserve it. They stretch it. They bend it until time loses meaning. Maybe the real mystery isn't why they live so long, but why we live so fast. The ocean's oldest creatures remind us of a strange truth. Life doesn't need to burn bright to last. Sometimes the longest-lasting lives are the quietest ones. We look at them with awe, but they're not legends or myths. They're just life. Life that escaped the clock we're all trapped inside. And somewhere in the deep, right this moment, a creature older than every human civilization is drifting. Still alive, still waiting, still untouched by time.